Our district has undergone some changes over the last few years, one of which had a couple of new people, as in myself. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and walking in the door, I'm gonna be honest, when I came in, I stopped early in the community just to kind of get a feel for the community. I wanted to find out where the kids were. So I'm riding up and down the street and I'm just seeing kids walking up and down the street. This is summertime. They're just walking up and down the street, not doing anything, just walking. I'm like, okay. So I stopped by the barbershop because everybody knows you can get all the answers from the barbershop. Obviously, I wasn't getting a haircut, but I stopped in there and I just sat and I asked, I said, so tell me a little bit about the school district. And they were like, why, you plan on coming? I said, I'm thinking about it. They said, well, kids, they're kind of bad, but I think we can get them. I was like, okay. I heard the last part. You're always gonna hear the first part when people talk about kids who don't work with kids every day, but the last part got me. They said all they need is a little bit of structure and stuff to do. I said, okay, yeah. I said, where's the basketball court? And they said, no basketball court. I go, okay. I said, where's the rec center? They said, yeah. They said, no rec center. I'm like, so is that the reason why I see kids walking up and down the street? They're like, yeah. So with that being said, one of the things that we also need to look into is like, what do we want our kids to do? How can we help our kids to kind of refocus some things? So our work is going to be multi-layered. Number one, the first is to basically be the example of what we're trying, or what we need for our kids' behavior, how to interact, how to dream bigger, all the things that we want our own kids to do. We should have that same thing, and I think this is an opportunity for us to really be a part of the lives of some kids who need us. They need us. This is not a thing that it's nice to have. No, our kids need us, and this part is going to be the presence piece and the mentoring piece, and just having the conversation with those gentlemen there made me think about how much further this thing can go, where it can become kind of a mentorship for other men to help with helping with making decisions, or, hey, I've never faced this before. How do I face? So we're talking about gentlemen or men in this community taking care of our children and guidance, but we can also be guidance for each other as well. And so that's what this whole piece is about, us just coming together and developing just a vision of what we can do and how we can improve our efforts in this community. We're gonna need every bit of your help. We don't wanna run you to death or work you to death. And that's why we need as many folks who are committed to this thing, so we can share the load of the community. We can have the police department to come in and work sessions. We can have council folks to come, everyone around this community. We can have other schools. I know Trinity over here, they have kids who are in this community. So the thing is not about just this school district. It's about the children in this community and the community as a whole. So that's enough of my little piece right there. I'm gonna turn this over to Miss Wilson, who, again, this is her brainchild, so she can take it from here.
Yes, well, thank you. That was a great introduction. Thank you all for being here today and joining us to hear a little bit more about Top Dog and how we're going to get this started. I had the pleasure of sitting with a few gentlemen here, Pastor Hauser, Pastor White, Dr. Reynolds, really putting our brains together on what this idea of Top Dog could be. Our hope for Top Dog is to be a male mentorship group that will be visible in our school, be visible in our hallways, be able to build relationships with students, staff members, support staff, and other community members. Top Dog is something that I really hope near and dear, because I know the impact that a male presence can have on a student, not only in education, but in their life in general. So I think that the start of Top Dog is going to be something very great. You will be involved with our building leadership, have regular meetings with them to see what is needed in their building, what ways that Top Dog can assist and be visible, and then bring that out into our community as well. This is the first time we've had something like this in our community, and I'm very excited about it. And I think it can really have an impact on our student body as well as our community as a whole as we continue to grow and change what individuals see and hear when they think of Garfield Heights.
So what are your thoughts and ideas? Everyone has a vision of this. What are your thoughts, and what do you see this thing as being, becoming, and how you can play a part in this?
Because you and I talked and just take some time just to sit back and dream a little bit. I think one of the things that I think will help galvanize and help support the message of Top Dog is to create, and we could talk about this as it be today, but create some type of vision or mission statement that really speaks to the core of what we want to accomplish. If men think like me, and a lot of us do think alike, we need to be clear, concrete, and concise, and we know exactly. This is our goal. It's mentoring, it's presence, all those kind of things, and that's outlined in a way that it could be kind of like what we say when we're talking about planting a church. We want to be able to have a 30-second kind of like pitch where we can say, "Hey, Top Dog is blah da 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 da," and it resonates with another guy, and he's like, "Yo, I can get with that." Just briefly, when I was meeting with Murtis and Reggie in the other building, and just hearing their stories, like those stories as well of their experience with their children, the children in the district, like those are all things that other men are going to feel when they're talking about their kids. So I think those two components, being able to tell those stories, tell their experiences, and then have some type of mission and vision around that, I think will further foster where we're trying to go. I think as much as we want to, I could be an all gas, no brake person, but as much as we want to see that, because we're compassionate about the district, the children, our scholars, you cannot be afraid to build, and building sometimes takes patience, which I'm learning in another space, but building takes patience. So, as when we leave here today, like begin the process of building, Murders, Reggie, myself, like we know other men, other leaders in this community, this message needs to continue to go forth to kind of drive what we want to accomplish. And however we can get that accomplished, I'm all for it.
One of the things I just want to make sure that we are welcoming as a school district. I don't think we've been welcoming at all to the community in the past, and I want to make sure whatever efforts we're making to bring folks in is an effort welcoming folks in. Like, hey, we want you to be a part of this. We don't want you to just send your kids to our school district and then you just kind of go away. We want you to be a part of this. So that's the only way that we'll get better as a school district, as a community, if we are inviting folks. And I want folks to see this as an invitation. Our men in the community see this as an invitation. Like, we want you to be a part of your lives, of the lives of your children, not only just at home, but also in their schooling and their education as well. We want you to be a part of that. We want you to have a say. We want you to have a say in this. So I want to ensure that we are intentional about that we are coming up with programs or things that are interesting, that are engaging to the men of this community. So they might not all want to kind of just sit in a room like this and just kind of chop the things up. They may want to have activities. So that's why when the man cave thing came up, I'm like, yeah, that would be engaging. That would be engaging. Food is always engaging. Those sort of some things in the summertime. Because what happens in the school year, pump, hard. Summertime comes, we all take a vacation. No, the kids are still they still have needs. Our communities still have needs. So we need to make sure that we're just consistent throughout, that this thing becomes a part of this community. So whatever we can be doing during the summertime, whether it's cookout, whether it is ropes courses, I don't know, just some things that are engaging, throughout the school year, not only just during the school year, but also during the summer as well. So let's make an effort to make sure that we're welcoming to the community.
How are you going to roll this out to the students? I mean, are we just going to be a general assembly where we bring all the students together and say, hey, look, school, we're rolling out this Top Dog program? Is it something assembly we can do maybe at one of the sporting events where at halftime we can say, hey, hey, these are the men of Top Dog. Listen, we're here to do this, and where we kind of, share what the vision is for the kids.
I think all of the above is appropriate, and hitting social media as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned one of the meetings will be with the individuals that will be in that particular building, the Top Dog members, with the building leadership, because every building may want to introduce you a different way. With elementary schools, there may be assembly or getting the kids hype of who we are and that they may see us around. It may look different middle school, high school. So it's going to be really a partnership with the building leadership and our Top Dog members to really see how this will roll out, and to be sure that it's not just, oh, this is Top Dog, you may see them around the building, but you're visible and they really get to know who you are as far as the students. And they're, especially since they're going to be visible, we want to make sure that a student said, oh, he's a member of Top Dog, I can go to him and ask him for help, or, something, regardless of whatever the situation may be. We want to be sure that whenever someone sees them in the community, if they're wearing their Top Dog logo, and if they're interested, they can give them some information. We want to be sure that, and all of our partners as well, big partners that we work with, I'm going to be working, speaking with our organization so they know what Top Dog is, and I'm hoping to get some of their members from the outside agencies that we work with to make sure it's a community effort for Top Dog.
I feel it's important for the guys that, I've been out of the game over 14 years, and I know what to look for because I was a kid, and I feel it's important for them because, like I said, people who they've been down that road can see stuff that normal people can't see. I just seen a lot in this community because I can see it because I used to be a part of it. I think it's very important because I talked to some fathers this morning to try to get them to come. And this district does have a great turnout with black fathers coming. I've never seen that many black fathers show up at these doors. And a lot of us was rival enemies. The dance y'all had, I was standing on my mask, I'm noticing people, and we all hugged, and it was like what was it over? It was over nothing, over something somebody else told. And it loosens it up, and we looking at our kids, and we the old men now. And every morning when I'm dropping kids off, we seeing that we are literally rivals from Cleveland, Ohio. And we all hug and handshakes, no beef, nothing. I've never seen that in my life. The turnout of all these kids. I got 4 kids in 4 different buildings. The last father walk, I had to hustle because I ain't want none of them be left out, and I've never seen that many fathers from my race show up to nothing, So it's a lot of potential in this neighborhood. You had to get to the source.
Here's what I've always said. I don't want a preacher that can't tell me how to get better because he ain't never been through it. So when we're talking about fellas out there who've made some bad decisions when they're young, and now they've learned, that's who we want. We want folks to be able to say, honestly, I'm from South Carolina. We're country folk, but we had stuff. But we had cats in our neighborhood, Big Bennett, who would tell us, boy, you better not do that. But I don't see that as being kind of the thing. Be in the park, and they see that you play football. We want to make sure you don't get into those stuff because you play football. I don't see that anymore. So now we have to go at a different angle. We have to go not the park. Now we have to go with things like this, Top Dog, to invite folks in, but not excluding folks. And that's what she was saying this to me over here. Oh yeah, we're definitely not trying to exclude people. We want folks. Now they might have some issues that, the building may be off, like you just said, but we still want to make sure that those folks who know what that world looks like and know how to keep folks out of it, that they are also engaging kids in a way of saying, hey, you don't want to do this because I know what it looks like. And we can't just say, oh no, we don't want you. That's who can tell you. Those are folks that can tell you. So we do want to make sure that we're coming up with ways to make sure they're engaged as well. Because we can't leave folks out who want to help kids. We can't. We cannot.
And I'm going to address what Mr. Murray said. It really resonated because this system isn't set up for redemption. It's not. It's communicating to our kids that if you mess up early in life, then you're done. People have taken their hands off you. So the experience that people like you and guys like you and guys like us, because we all have our stuff, to be able to demonstrate to these kids that it's never too late for you to pivot and change and turn. And it's never too late for you to demonstrate leadership and guidance to someone else. So that element is so crucial to this process, because right now, the community is taking their hands off our kids. So the messaging to them is, I've messed up. Nobody's really worried about my success. So I'm gonna do what I do and maybe figure it out down the line. But with this early intervention, this early guidance from the community members, the people that can speak to the kids in the way they need to be spoken to for that message to resonate and be retained, super critical to this process. So thank you for sharing that.
I want an introduction at our professional development about Top Dogs to introduce to our leadership, all of our staff that are going to be there, and how we're going to move forward. And hopefully by that time we can already have a meeting about our vision, mission, have all of that laid out. So we are a solid group when we're introduced at professional development. Our HR director, Ms. Tasha Pettigrew, will also sit in with us to talk about, just some trainings that she wants us to have in regards to a group that's going to be tied to, in the building, in the school, whether we're going to be in the school or just in the community. We want to hear from you guys as well as what other training and opportunities that may be helpful to make sure that Top Dog is successful. So that is those conversations. Yes, Sergeant Ghostley.
I want to be the devil's advocate, but all great talk. Love the idea. But I think missing a lot of steps. I was just right now listening. I probably missed a lot from your program, but how do you integrate Top Dog is my biggest question. It's something called the crawl, walk, run phase that we use in the military. I teach you, you do it, and then we go full speed. I feel like we're missing a lot of big steps about just individually, right? As me, myself personally, I don't know these guys personally, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be open to just talk to you guys. So a lot of kids think that way as well, especially African American kids. So it's I think you gotta start from the top, with Top Dog establishing what it is, Sir said over here, establishing who wants to be a part of it, and then what is the goal? How can I talk to, let's say, Kobe, who is a kid here, when I don't know the gentleman to my left or my right, you know what I'm saying? So it's about teaching young men about being accountable. If I feel like this is, what's your name, sir, again?
Reggie.
I feel like Reggie did something wrong to me, and if we having general banter, and I feel like he cut me off, showing that, showing Kobe, man, it's okay, I apologize, sir. You know what I'm saying? That is important in showing that vulnerability amongst men. And also just being committed to this program. It's all good to say you want to be a part of this, but the buy-in is so important from the community as men and also the staff. Just me being in the school sometimes I hear different things about different teachers. You come to school, you do your job, you go home. That's all they want to do. But also the staff got to buy in too. The staff got to buy in if you want the community to buy in as well. What is the foundation? What is the foundation? One thing that in this low income communities, less fortunate communities, is resources, right? Mr. Letterman said, we lack a lot of resources, but what are we providing to these kids? Just to say, oh, you're a part of this, cool. In other words, this is a gang in the sense but it's a cool gang to be a part of. Why would I want to be a part of this? What makes me want to hang with the homies on the block opposed to coming to the gym and being a part of Top Dog? How are we gonna differentiate between the two? And I think that's a big step that we're missing. Maybe we can talk out loud and try to understand that part. The details are important.
Yeah, so all of that is very important. And I think it's about having those meetings to create the foundation of this group. We are in that building phase, and we want the buy-in from the community. And I think we have quite a few solid key players to be a part of this Top Dog program. So it's going to be the support from our central office staff, our members that are out, boots on the ground in the community, and building that foundation, that vision, that mission, what we want to get out of Top Dog. And it's going to be in phasing in small steps. So it's going to be making sure that we're visible, building that leadership opportunity and partnership with our buildings, making sure that they know what Top Dog is, and that buy-in from the staff is going to be very important, so that building that connection with our leadership, it has to be at the beginning phases, because they need to know what Top Dog is and why we are there in the building or outside in the community. And then the rollout to make sure that Dr. Reynolds presents Top Dog to our staff and they know what it is. But before that, I want them to be able to, Top Dogs to be able to meet with our building leadership, so it's no surprise. When Dr. Reynolds is introduced into the staff, our building leadership should know, oh, I know who they are, I've met with them, I know what their purpose is, I know why they want to be here, I know why they're here. So it's going to be in small phases, and making sure that Top Dog is put out into our school community, into our community, but really gauging the interest of some of our key players, council members, the mayor, police department, fire department. I've reached out to a few of them being a part of it, and also our organization. So that's why those professional development opportunities that I spoke about, Top Dog, is going to be important. They're going to be very important in educating Top Dog also of some things that we offer in the building, the resources that are available to our students and our families, so they know they're able to walk that walk and talk that talk with us, and they're part of our school community. So just continue to have the meetings to build this program, and then working with every key player in central office to know that this is not just a program that we're going to say we're going to start. It's going to be put on the back shelf, and hopefully something comes out of Top Dog. That everyone has to be involved.
And it has to be something that's sustainable. So building that foundation, like you all are saying, is key, because it needs to live on past this school year or past this administration or past whatever. It needs to be something that's embedded in this community as how we respond to the needs of our kids. Even though we're not all teachers, or we're not all on the police bar, we're not all working in city council, but we do live here. So that's in my mind, it has to be something that's sustainable, because our kids are going to be here. We're always going to have kids in this community. So how do we respond to their needs? And we may not always, hopefully soon, they'll end up having a rec center for our students. We'll have all type of resources coming for our students. But while we're waiting to get that, we need to work on their minds and their hearts. And this is a way of doing that, and building something that's sustainable and making sure the foundation is strong is extremely, extremely important. So,
and as the vision and the mission is refined, then this becomes more than just a in-school mentor and the community thing. This becomes almost an outreach. So we start planning summer camps, summer trips, rites of passages for our young men. So it becomes more than the immediate need that is serving now, because like Dr. Reynolds said, with the vision and mission, it becomes sustainable. It becomes something that the kids will know they will experience as they progress through Garfield. The community will accept it. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. Like Ms. Wilson said, it's all hands on deck.
I've been here, it'll be 5 years in August. Since I've got here, I've been, trying to figure out how to solve these problems. Not having a community center. Where are our kids going? What are they doing? Most of their parents are at work. So now they have no supervision, now the streets got them. So we have to be willing to open up some spaces in order to get our kids into those spaces so that their parents can actually buy in to the program. Because once we get the kids, we can get the parents. If we can get the parents, they're gonna make the kids come, so, it's hand in hand. Just like, education and home, they go hand in hand. What you're learning at school should be reinforced at home. And what you're taught at home should be reinforced at school. I just agree with everybody here, experiences matter, because who's to say, one of the kids at the school is in the situation that one of us has been in already. Both of my parents were gone by the time I was 6. So I can resonate with kids who aren't with their families. And you just have to be able to let the kid know that somebody actually cares. That's what they want. They want somebody that knows that they actually care.
Let me just tell you how much you're right on this thing when you said kids just need someone to know they care about. You walk up in that high school right now, I go through the hallways and like, hey, how you doing today? That simple. They look at me like, you talking to me? Yeah, how you doing? And I tell, oh, you look good today. Hey, you look, just simple stuff. And they are wholeheartedly right there with me when I'm just giving them just a second, just a minute. And I think that, just giving them a little bit of attention, just making sure that we acknowledge the fact that we care about them enough to say good morning, or care about them enough to make sure they're okay today. Like, hey, you're not smiling today, you all right? Just asking those simple questions and just being there. I think that makes a great deal of importance to our children.
If we keep the images that our kids are seeing of themselves as negative, they're going to continue to look at themselves as negative. That's why, as parents, we have to be mindful of what our kids are watching, what we are exposing our kids to. We have to be able to give them the actual reality and not glamorify, the culture. Like, I hate, because what you call the culture is not the culture. Y'all are using all the negative stereotypes as the culture. We're smart. We're resourceful. We're resilient. That's the culture. So at the end of the day, having us as men come together, especially for those young men that don't have an actual man in their life, because now they're looking at TV thinking, oh, this is what it means to be a man. At the end of the day, programs like this are very necessary. And as men, we definitely have to step up and, let everybody know, like, we're done. We're done giving our kids to the streets. We're done, with y'all stereotypes. Just because I have long hair doesn't mean I'm a thug. Just because my hair is braided doesn't mean I'm out on the block. I'm a college-educated fella. I like my hair. Like, why should that stop me from being successful? You know what I'm saying? So, we need to teach our kids to love themselves as well as us showing them that we love them too.
Most adults have taken their hands off the rearing and establishing that right or wrong morality inside our kids. So, when we grew up, we learned that at home foundationally, and it was reinforced in the community, it was reinforced in the school. Now, because the kids are more aggressive in their speech to the adults, now the adults have taken their hands off the kids. So there's no one to change that paradigm. There's no one to be a counter to the stereotypes they see, and to rebrand people in suits and doctors and lawyers as successful and not corny. So this is why the intentionality behind this program and what the district is trying to do with the community is super important to catch those kids right now. Because right now, we're going to graduate them and turn them right back into the community to do what?
I want to see it come to fruition. I want to see it grow. I may not be here, but that while I'm here, you got me. Hold me accountable. I hold you guys accountable, hold me accountable. Like, let's not just talk about it, let's be about it. Like, even on the weekends, like, everybody busy, but we take Saturday at 9 o'clock for us to come together, let's just do it. The little steps to get it done. So I think with having individuals like these men to your right, across you guys, it'll take the stress off of your staff, Dr. less expulsion meetings, it take the stress off of the teachers, like not being afraid of these kids so much. If you got big brother down here who they got to come talk to from Top Dog at the school, like y'all check us, we check y'all, and it's like great banter, great conversation that I think it'll make this whole community, whole district a better place. I don't think the kids are bad kids. I think they just want somebody to look up to, like I said, be a part of something.
I think another thing, for them to get our respect starting off, some of us gonna have to tell. I know I ain't gonna be able to give and tell testimony to the kids to the full detail, but I will water it down to where that's what really catches kids, to let them know, oh, this dude, they gotta know you. They even open up to you.
Honestly, I just want our kids to have a chance. That's it, man. That's it. I just want them to have a chance. And if we're working on the end of just making sure they have the things, mentoring, all those things, we'll take care of the other pieces where they have everything they need to have in classes. We're working on those pieces. but I just want us to make sure we're coming and hitting the whole child, and hitting the whole in school, out of school. Honestly, y'all, I'm only here for that. I don't want it just to be limited to us just asking you guys just to be around. I want this dialogue to figure out what we need to do. What can we do differently to make sure kids have what they need? And that's the kind of feedback that we're gonna need. I need for kids to have something by the time they graduate. They have something. They're gonna walk out, because right now, honestly, what is their diploma worth? Are we sending them in a direction where they can go ahead and go straight to work, straight off to school, to the military? Are we giving them those options? That's the goal, to make sure they have those options by the time they're seniors in high school. They go off right into the workforce, because we've created opportunity for them to learn the trade, for them to go ahead and start learning programming, for them to go ahead and do construction, all those different things from multi-level in that. And that's where we come together and we try to figure out what's working and what's not.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for their time today. This conversation was very rich and it was needed to start us thinking about how we want to start to move in regards to building this foundation for Top Dog.